There is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
The nation pretty much in shock after a shooting at a rally for former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. So we know that 2 people died. That does include the gunman, and then 2 others were seriously hurt.
That's right. Donald Trump had blood on his face. You probably saw the video. He said he was shot in the ear as well. Minnesota leaders have been quick to condemn the shooting.
So this was a heinous act, but we have to remember what our democracy is all about here. Remember that people's words matter, and we're not going to be able to function without that kind of civility in our democracy.
Governor Walz, talking on social media, said violence has no place in American politics and that he was praying for Trump's safety. Representative Dean Phillips commenting, no matter what your politics, please pray for Donald Trump and pray for America. Then Representative Tom Emmer saying that Trump would rise again, quote, stronger than ever. This morning, we are also learning more about the 3 men who were shot during Saturday's rally in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, among them was retired Fire Chief Corey Comparatori. The 50-year-old was shot as he shielded his daughters from gunfire. Also hit were 57-year-old David Dutch and 74-year-old James Copenhaver. Pennsylvania's governor has ordered flags to fly at half staff. Now we know the FBI is leading this investigation. They are calling it a potential act of domestic terror. They believe the shooter acted alone and have not established a motive for the shooter just yet.
They have also identified the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was from Bethel Park. That's about an hour north of where the rally was held. Members say that he was quiet, with classmates remembering him as a good student who they say didn't seem to fit in. He was a registered Republican, but he did give a $15 donation to a Democratic-leaning group. People who live in Bethel Park responded to the shooting, all with a common message saying there is a need to unify the nation.
You know, we used to go to parties and find things in common with each other. Now we go to parties and we're divisive. We start fights.
So far, investigators haven't found any evidence on social media or other writings by Crooks that might help identify a motive. All this as the Republican National Convention kicks off today in Milwaukee.
It certainly does. So that shooting has led to heightened security, as you would imagine. CBS News' Sabrina Franza is live in Milwaukee to talk about the convention and the shooting. Sabrina, I'd say good morning, but it's not really a good morning. I think a lot of people are on pins and needles waiting to see how everything is going to play out at the convention, which starts today in Milwaukee.
Well, it's interesting. It seems like the message coming out of the Trump administration is that everything is going on according to plan. We know that the former president who arrived here in Milwaukee yesterday had previously considered delaying his trip to Milwaukee because of what happened, but then actually did the opposite and saying that he did not want the shooter's actions to change the way that the convention would go at all. And in true Trump fashion, we're expecting all of the pomp and circumstance and a vice presidential announcement. Traditionally, we would expect the presidential nominee to speak on Thursday, the last day of the convention. We do know that his speech has been changed to reflect what has happened in the last 48 hours, and we are hoping to learn more about that in the coming days. There's a heavy security presence in Milwaukee as the Republican National Convention begins later today.
I feel pretty safe.
The U.S. Secret Service says it's keeping its security plan as is. Just 2 days after a gunman opened fire at former President Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
We have accounted for various security scenarios that may arise, and we are confident in the plan we have implemented.
Former President Trump arrived in Milwaukee yesterday. In a newspaper interview, he said he plans to change his speech later in the week in light of the shooting. Trump also said had he not looked away from the crowd at the moment of the shooting, he may have been killed. During an Oval Office address, President Biden said he had a brief phone conversation with Trump after the shooting.
We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down.
Authorities say the gunman, identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, was killed by a U.S. Secret Service sniper. Investigators say an AR-style rifle found near his body was purchased legally and registered to his father, and that bomb materials were found in his home and vehicle.
We had graduated with him, and it was just something I would have never seen coming.
President Biden has ordered an independent review of the incident. The FBI is investigating the shooting as an assassination attempt and potential domestic terrorism.
Here at the convention, about 2,400 delegates are expected to come together from across the country to officially choose and nominate their nominee, former President Donald Trump, for a third time. I'll send it back to you guys.
Sabrina Franza live for us in Milwaukee. Sabrina, thank you.